Hey there, everyone. Welcome to this morning's edition of the MPC Markets Morning Call, 20th of November, 2025. We had FOMC minutes last night and obviously Nvidia earnings this morning. So rate cuts are off the table for the rest of 2025, down to 26% now. And Nvidia beat, and we'll cover that in just a moment. So still down fairly, pretty significantly for the week overall. Probably one of the worst weeks we've had since April. SPY futures actually went through the 200-day moving average yesterday. It'd be interesting to see if they can bounce. But we're down about 0.25% in the ASX, Japan, and China. The China 850 was up slightly. And then you got the Dow being flat, the S&P up 0.38, and the NASDAQ up 0.56, and the Russell unchanged. The technicals still showing a strong sell or a sell on the hourlies and the dailies. That strong buy now fading as well on the weekly. We did have Nvidia up around about 2.5% before the number. So just the investor focus here was, revenue was 57 billion, up 57%. They're expecting 55-ish. That was a beat. EPS was a beat at 130, expecting around that 125. Data center growth as a percentage of revenue it's at around 90. If it was above 90, then, they would have mentioned it. And then revenue guidance was 65 bill, 2% plus or minus 2%. Profit margin above 70. We didn't really get to it was up slightly. And as you can see here, gross profit margin at 73%. Operating profit margin was only up slightly, net profit only up slightly. So, look, don't get me wrong, absolutely outstanding result. And this has just been incredible. This whole thing is much more to do with what the market's expecting and the market's high expectations and the fact that this stock's rallied, 1,700% the last few years. I think investors need to pull back their expectations because there literally is not enough money in the world now for this thing to go another 1,000%, let alone probably even 100%, to be honest. But it was getting hit into the earnings over the course of the week. I think this bounce back's probably around about fair in terms of it's sort of recovered what it had really given away during the week. And data center revenue there was around that 66% mark as well, which was just go back there quickly. It's a different number there, a little bit confusing in terms of what it was there, but up 66% year on year is still a really good result. Jensen's done his normal thing and he's been quite bullish and saying that there's loads of orders and things like that. That magic trick hasn't really worked as well this time around. So we had essentially, when the results came out, we're in about 187-ish or high 187s. It immediately spiked to 194, and then it's sort of the volumes dropped a little bit, and then we've gone sideways. We're testing highs here at the moment at 194.65 or 70, as at 8:45 in the morning here. If we can't see a bust above that 197 or a finish above that 197, then but I wouldn't say the price action's been overwhelmingly bullish. I just would say it's a good result and it deserves this stock deserves to be up. But look, it's certainly not the blinding upward breakup that we had previously. And look, for the week as well, Nvidia's still down around about. You add back in the extra 3.5% it's picked up. We're basically flat for the week now for Nvidia. So So yeah, well, and I think people start to focus a little bit more on those rate cuts. There's been a little bit on social media about how badly that OpenAI deal's gone for Oracle. 300 billion now valued at 74 billion. There's more talk about private credit on Bloomberg this morning. Another fund going under, or going into liquidation as well. We're not getting rate cuts for the remainder of 2025. And, we've got these payrolls numbers tonight coming up as well. Google did reach 52-week highs overnight. I've got to say they've done very well. And, it helps that, one of the last trades Uncle Warren has done for Berkshire Hathaway is getting into Google. It's certainly helping sentiment there. And look, I mean, I would be I'd be very cautious around this move in Nvidia and what the reaction is tomorrow. Because as I've said to you a number of times, price action's really the key here, and I think we're at really critical levels. Like to be tested essentially, and I would really like to see. What it does over the coming days, but you're not going to get into too much trouble, and we're definitely going to have be buying the dip on Nvidia. But I think this is just the overall bellwether. Nvidia, you got to remember, Nvidia has really saved this market a number of times, and it really is it really is a big test because it's the only one that's still performing extraordinarily well. I mean, the record high is $212 from back in late October, and we're, as I say, we're still down around that 191 area, up around about 6.75% for both sessions combined as it stands. So just quickly moving on. We did have some earnings out of Lowe's, which was actually quite good, which is kind of US Bunnings. It raised its annual sales target and then exceeded expectations. TJX it rose a lot more early, but it's only basically flat now. Raised its annual sales and profit forecast, but it's a discount retailer as well. Target, the stock fell 3.5% after the big box chain reported bigger than expected drop in quarterly comparable sales. So pretty mixed for the retail market there. And obviously Home Depot being poor as well yesterday. We'll get numbers out of Walmart. That'll be a big one tomorrow, but it'd probably be largely overshadowed by the payrolls numbers overall. So yeah, we'll... having a quick look, I mean, everyone's just been focused on this Nvidia thing. So, the commodities have basically done nothing overnight, really. Crude was off a little, 2%. Gold, silver, copper, basically flat. Copper was up 1%. Lithium up 1%. Uranium up 3%, recovering some ground. Bitcoin was down 3.5%, down 11% for the week. And, I think everyone will just be very keenly watching... the price action in Nvidia and waiting for these payrolls numbers, which could be a bit of a mess. We might do a bit of a more detailed, in-depth thing on Nvidia. For those of you who watch Ausbiz, Nvidia will be stock of the day, and myself and Mark Morland will be covering it in far more detail around about the 1 o'clock mark today. Just go to ausbiz.com.au. And have a look there to get some deeper thoughts on it. But I would say overall fairly mixed day for the ASX, and we now wait another 13 odd hours about 15 odd hours until these payrolls numbers come through, and then we can kind of finally move on from there. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll speak again tomorrow.
Ready to upgrade your investing? Discover Mosaic by MPC Markets for market news, investor education, top stock picks, podcasts, and real-time broker chat. Everything you need, all in one simple app. Sign up now for your 1-month free trial and experience investment content you can understand and actually use